Welcome to your weekly Leadership Principle by Coach AJ and the mentor team at Martin County PAL. At Martin County PAL, our goal is not discipline, it is growth. We meet youth where they are and help them develop into healthy, productive leaders for the future. So, we just walked out of Lesson 14, and I have to say, I'm still kind of processing the vibe in that room tonight.
It was different, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've sat in on a bunch of these now, but this one felt distinct. There was a certain weight to it.
It definitely wasn't the usual, chaotic energy. With 28 students packed in, the first 10 minutes is usually just crowd control.
Right.
But tonight, it started light.
Right.
But it pivoted to something serious really, really quickly.
It did. And it all started with that little bit of banter about the seating. Did you catch that? The whole front row versus back row thing?
Oh, yeah. It's the classic human condition, isn't it? Everyone wants to hide the back.
And Coach AJ called it out immediately. He was joking around, saying the front row is the worst seat in the house because you're in the line of fire.
But then he looked right at the guys trying to blend in with the wall back there.
And basically said, you can sit there, but you're not invisible. It set the tone. Passive observation was not going to fly tonight.
And that led perfectly into the theme, which was self-discipline.
But they used the specific framework that I think we really need to unpack for parents. The whole uphill climbing versus downhill sliding.
That's the mission for this deep dive, right? We have to translate that for the parents listening. Because watching the kids tonight, it was so obvious that adults and kids define success in two completely different languages.
Yes. And that's where all the friction at the dinner table comes from.
Absolutely. And that disconnect started the second Coach AJ introduced the vocabulary. He didn't start with rules. He started with two words.
Intrinsic and extrinsic.
And then he did something that I think just completely shifted the dynamic in the room.
You mean when he admitted he didn't know the word?
Yes. He's standing in front of 28 teenagers who see adults as these, all-knowing authority figures. And he just says, verbatim, I had to look up the word intrinsic myself today.
From a leadership psychology standpoint, that's such a tactical move. It just levels the playing field.
It does. If he comes in as the keeper of all knowledge, their guards go up. It's us versus them.
But by admitting he had to Google it, he's basically saying, I'm a learner, just like you. It disarms them.
It definitely lowered the temperature. But then they hit a wall.
Oh, they did. When he actually asked for examples of intrinsic goals, it was dead silent.
Even though the definition was right there on the worksheet. Internal stuff, character, habits. But they just couldn't find the words.
Well, it's not that surprising when you think about their world. It's so hyper-extrinsic.
Everything is external validation. Grades, scoreboards, likes on social media, the shoes they wear.
So when you ask them to look inside and define a goal that nobody else can see, it's like you're asking them to speak a foreign language.
Coach Matt actually had to jump in to prime the pump. He gave an extrinsic example. Something about increasing his money flow.
And heads started nodding immediately. They get money. They get trophies.
But eventually, a few students did crack the code. And the answers they gave were surprisingly heavy.
They were. That one student who said her goal was to stop obsessing over things, that really struck me.
She described this loop where she gets so focused on an outcome, she just goes down a rabbit hole, wastes time, and gets in trouble.
It sounded a lot like anxiety or perfectionism.
It did. And another kid mentioned falling less to peer pressure. See, these aren't goals you can, put on the fridge. These are internal battles for self-regulation. And that brings us to the first big insight for you listening. As parents, we focus on the report card.
The extrinsic result.
Right. But the kid is focused on the internal storm. So if we only praise the A's, we're missing the real work they're doing to manage that storm.
The A is just a byproduct.
Precisely. And that leads to the biggest barrier to that work, which Coach AJ visualized with that metaphor, the satchel of excuses.
I loved this visual, this idea that we all walk around with this imaginary bag on our shoulder, just packed with ready-made reasons for why we failed.
That's not my fault. The teacher hates me. My friend made me do it.
It's a survival kit for the ego. But what I found fascinating was how Coach AJ explained the benefit we get from using it.
You mean when he said we're patting ourselves on the back for failure?
Yes. That sounds completely backwards. Why would anyone congratulate themselves for failing?
It's about validation. It's cognitive dissonance. If you have a deep-seated belief that says, I'm bad at math, or, I'm just lazy, that belief is comfortable. It's part of your identity.
Okay, so it's safer to be who I think I am, even if that person is failing.
Exactly. If you try really hard and you still fail, that hurts your ego. But if you don't try and you pull a card out of the satchel,
And say, I can't do this anyway, and then you fail.
your brain goes, see, you were right. You are bad at math.
hmm
You get this weird little dopamine hit for being right, even though you failed the test.
That is terrifyingly accurate. So we'd rather be right about our limitations than be surprised by our own success.
That's the mechanism. The satchel of excuses is the security blanket that keeps us safe in that failure loop.
So for the parents listening, here's a tough question. Are you helping to pack that satchel? When your kid comes home with a bad grade and says, the teacher is unfair, do you say, yeah, that teacher's a jerk? Because if you do, you just put another excuse in their bag.
And we have to flip the gear on ourselves, too. Are we carrying our own satchel? I'm too tired to enforce the screen time rule tonight.
Our teenagers just don't listen these days.
If we use excuses for our parenting, we're modeling that the satchel is a necessary accessory for life.
Which brings us to the core phrase of the night. If you're multitasking right now, just come back to us for a second. This is the big takeaway.
Most people have uphill hopes but downhill habits.
It's such a sticky phrase. Uphill hopes, downhill habits.
Coach Bob and Coach AJ really drilled down on the physics of it. They were blunt. They said humans are lazy by nature.
A body at rest stays at rest. Downhill is easy because gravity does the work.
But here's the reality check. Everything that makes life good, health, career, relationships, financial stability, it's all uphill.
You cannot accidentally climb a mountain.
You can accidentally slide to the bottom for sure. Gravity takes care of that. But you have to be intentional to go up.
And they connected this to a behavior they called cherry picking. I think every adult in the room felt called out by this one.
Oh, absolutely. The to-do list trap. We all do it. You have
Yep.
10 things to do. 2 are hard and really important. 8 are easy and trivial.
And we do the 8 easy ones. We answer the emails, we tidy the desk, we run the quick errand.
We pick the downhill tasks. We feel busy. We feel productive because we checked 8 boxes.
Okay.
But we avoided the uphill grind.
And Coach AJ said this is where dreams go to die. We sacrifice the big goal for the temporary satisfaction of the small, easy task.
He threw out a number, and I don't know if this is like peer-reviewed data, but it feels emotionally true. He said 99% of the problem in our lives is effort.
It's a bold claim, but in the context of the classroom, think about it. When a kid is failing, parents jump to ability. Maybe he needs a tutor.
Maybe he has a learning difference.
Right. And sure, sometimes that's true. But Coach AJ challenged the room. Is the obstacle your ability, or is it your effort?
And when the kids were honest, it was effort. Almost every single time.
It was distraction, laziness, just not wanting to do the hard work. They could climb the hill. They were choosing to slide.
There was that moment where he confronted the, I don't know, defense. You know how teenagers are. What's a bad habit you need to break?
And they just mumble, I don't know, or I'd rather not say.
It's a classic defensive shield. It just ends the conversation. But Coach AJ didn't let it slide.
And importantly, he didn't force them to confess to the whole room. He respected their privacy.
But he insisted that they knew the answer.
He said, you have to first want it. Decide you don't want to stay where you are. You can lie to the world, but if you lie to yourself, you're never getting up that hill.
And for parents, the insight here is about auditing the culture of your house. Are you modeling uphill climbing?
Does your child see you doing difficult things just because they need to be done? Or do they see you seeking comfort at every turn?
Uphill hopes, downhill habits. It's a killer. But speaking of habits, Coach Bob dropped a reality check that I think rattled the room.
He started talking about dreamers.
Which was so necessary because we live in this culture of manifesting. We tell kids to dream big.
But Coach Bob just cut right through that. He said, dreams happen when you are asleep. Goals happen when you wake up.
And he used that image of the bicycle on the mountain. If you stop pedaling to sit there and dream about the summit,
Gravity wins. You roll backward.
he warned them that hanging around dreamers, people who just hope things get better without action, is a trap. You have to wake up.
It's a crucial message. Social media sells the dream. They see the influencer's lifestyle, the athlete's contract. They just see the finished product.
Right. They don't see the 4.0 a.m. wake-up call. They don't see the years of uphill climbing. They just see the view from the top.
And if we don't correct that, they're going to think success is magic, not work.
And Coach AJ reinforced this with that really tense moment, the strike 2 moment.
That was uncomfortable. You could hear a pin drop in there.
He wasn't causing a scene. He was just checked out, giving non-answers.
And Coach AJ just stopped the whole lesson, looked right at him and said, essentially, strike 2 is not good with me.
He made a really sharp distinction between attendance and participation.
He said, "This is the easiest punishment you will ever have. Just sit here and listen." But he demanded engagement. He was not okay with passive presence.
Which raises a huge question for us as parents. Do we allow passive presence in our homes?
Are we okay with our kids just existing in the same room, scrolling on a phone, mentally checked out during family time?
Or do we demand engagement? Because you don't grow by osmosis. You don't get discipline just by sitting near disciplined people. You have to engage.
That is a hard standard to hold. It takes energy from us. It's easier to just let them check out.
That's a downhill habit for us.
Right.
It's easier to let them scroll than to force a conversation. But that's the slide.
Which brings us to probably the most counterintuitive lesson of the whole night, the idea of forming versus protecting.
The control discussion.
Yeah. If you ask a teenager what control means, what's the answer?
Doing whatever I want. No curfew. Don't tell me what to do.
Exactly. Get off my back.
But AJ just flipped the script. He explained that self-discipline is actually the currency that buys your freedom.
He asked the room, who wants to do what they want to do? And of course, every hand goes up.
Then he explains. People let you do what you want when they trust you to do it right.
That's the forming part. He said, people let you do what you want to do because they believe you're going to do it the right way.
It's such a simple equation, but teens miss it all the time. They think freedom is a right. AJ is saying freedom is a reward for reputation.
But here's the catch for the parents listening. If the kid shows the discipline, the parent has to grant the freedom. It's a contract.
You can't keep moving the goalposts or they'll just stop climbing.
To help them build that discipline, Coach AJ shared his own personal hack, the one thing rule.
This is classic productivity. You might know it as eat that frog, but hearing it from a mentor made it real for them.
He told them every morning he writes down the one most important thing he has to do. And he was honest. He said, it is usually the thing I don't want to do.
He tackles the uphill climb first thing in the morning.
He said doing the hardest thing first actually creates energy. He compared the rest of the day to sightseeing from the mountaintop.
If you kill the dragon at 8 a.m., the rest of the day is easy.
There was a great back and forth with a mentor, Jim, about homework that backed this up. Jim admitted that in school, he had no discipline.
He'd wait till the last minute. And the result wasn't just bad grades. It was the emotional weight he carried around.
Waiting creates dread. Action creates satisfaction.
And this is where forming versus protecting really hits home for us. Our instinct as parents is often to protect.
Oh, he's tired from practice. I'll do his chores tonight.
Oh, she's stressed about the play. I'll help write the essay. We protect them from the uphill climb.
But if we do that, we rob them of the muscle building.
That's the image to hold on to. If we carry them uphill, they get to the top with weak legs.
And the moment we let go college, first job, they fall. Because they never built the quads to stand on their own.
We want them to have strong legs. That's the goal. Not a happy kid today, but a capable adult tomorrow.
Which brings us to our parent action step for the week. We want you to take this energy from the room and bring it right to your kitchen table.
And keeping with the theme, this isn't a lecture for your kid. It's a practice you do with them.
Exactly. Coach AJ assigned the one goal notebook to the students. He demanded one specific, time-bound goal, not do better, but
study math for 1 hour, or spend 20 minutes with my brother. Specificity is the enemy of the satchel of excuses. You either did it or you didn't.
So parents, here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, mirror this assignment. Get a notebook, a sticky note, whatever.
Every morning, write down one specific goal for the day.
And make sure it's an uphill task. Don't write down drink coffee. Write down the thing you're avoiding.
The difficult phone call, the workout you keep skipping, the budget review you're scared to look at.
And here's the most important part. Do it visibly. Let your child see you engaging in self-discipline. Let them see you write it down and let them see you check that box.
Because you cannot demand uphill habits from your child if you are living a downhill sliding life right in front of them.
Kids have an excellent radar for hypocrisy. If you're sliding, they're going to slide.
That hits home. If we want them to wake up and stop dreaming, we have to wake up first.
It starts with us. We have to drop our satchel of excuses before we can ask them to drop theirs.
Well, there is plenty to chew on there.
A satchel of excuses, uphill climbs, and the power of doing that one hard thing first. Thank you for taking a few minutes to invest in your child's growth. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel, like or comment on this episode, and share it with other parents who care about raising strong, capable young leaders. If you would like to learn more about Martin County PAL or are interested in supporting or partnering with our program, please reach out. This work only happens because of people who believe in meeting youth where they are and helping them grow into who they can become. We appreciate you being part of that mission.